This is your weekly IUP-TV news bulletin, broadcasted from the comfort of our own homes in Philadelphia. My name's Liam Noble.
And I'm Anaya Pinckney. Although we're not able to bring you our regular news program, we are still trying our best to bring you the most up-to-date IUP and local news.
That's right. Following last month's announcement from Governor Wolf that all schools remain closed for the remainder of the 2019-2020 academic year, our reporter John Papatus talked to a few school administrators to find out how this change is affecting both schools and students alike. Here's the story.
Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf has announced that schools will remain closed for the rest of the academic year due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The state order was signed last week on April 9th. This decision affects more than 1.7 million students in public and private K-12 schools. Students will be finishing their studies remotely.
Schools will remain closed for the rest of the academic year, but that doesn't mean learning is stopping in Pennsylvania.
State universities like IUP have the infrastructure to transition to fully online. How are public school districts handling this extreme social shift? Some schools are fortunate enough to have one-to-one devices such as iPads and Chromebooks, but even then, it might be hard to make sure students are getting their coursework finished. Take Greencastle Antrim School District, for example. Located in Franklin County, how is this school district handling the current situation? I sat down with two district employees to talk about how GASD is still providing an enriching educational experience to its students.
Hi, my name is Bob Kreider. I'm the Chief Educational Officer for the Greencastle Antrim School District.
Hi, I'm Ginger Thompson. I'm the Director of Special Education for the Greencastle Antrim School District.
I asked Dr. Kreider about what GASD's plan is to educate their students.
What we have decided to do is a hybrid of planned instruction and review and enrichment. The primary building, kindergarten through second grade, is using an online tool called Freckle, which allows students to access math and language arts activities directly at their learning level. And all of those buildings and students and teachers are involved in enrichment and review, which basically means we're taking everything that our students already knew this year, trying to reinforce all of those skills and stretch them a little bit. That we are one-to-one at the high school with iPads, so every student has a device. We're trying to keep it simple. We're trying to use one platform for our families, Schoology, K through 12. So parents have one spot to go to.
Since special education is such a vital yet strictly regulated service, I asked Ginger Thompson, how is GASD individualizing its special education programs and continuing to support those who need them?
The language that we're all using is that we are open for business and we are trying to get as much instruction in front of your child as possible. And we're trying to make sure that that is in a manner that they will understand. It's something that will make sense to students, and it's something that they're really capable of doing at home without, a person really sitting right there with them. And again, as you had mentioned, there are very specific compliance regulations that we have to adhere to. So we have sent documents out to every individual student that is receiving special education services within the district, making sure that we are documenting everything. It's been a little different and unique for us, making sure that we're documenting every single parent conversation, every time that we're pushing materials out to kids, whether that be virtually or whether that be something that we're mailing to them. That's definitely something that we've had to document.
While the Greencastle Antrim School District is a shining example of how a school district should be operating during the COVID-19 pandemic, not all schools are as fortunate. Many can't afford one-to-one devices or the online infrastructure to handle a situation like this. We can only hope that in the wake of this pandemic, less equipped school districts will receive the funding needed to prepare them for any future situation that might keep their students out of the classroom. Reporting from Greencastle, Pennsylvania, this is Jonathan Papadis, IUP-TV News.
More than 1.5 billion students and youth have been affected by schools closing during the COVID-19. The Global Education Coalition, launched by UNESCO, is seeking learning opportunities for students to still be able to be active and learn while they're out of school. Do you have any siblings at home, Liam?
I actually have a brother and sister who are actually in college right now who have to kind of transition from schools in the classroom to online. But I actually know a lot of families have been really affected by the schools closing. I have one uncle who actually has to homeschool his one daughter who's in kindergarten, and I have another uncle who's doing online Zoom kindergarten classes for like an hour each weekday. But it's a stressful time, and a lot of families have to transition from being in the workforce to home and actually watching their kids as well. I actually had the opportunity to interview my one dad and my siblings about how this transition has really affected them and their overall experience to adjusting to it. Here's the story.
In a time where the coronavirus has everyone panicked, desperate times call for desperate measures, and social distancing is becoming a norm in today's society. For starters, colleges are now moving to online classes for the remainder of the spring semester, and many students who are used to learning in an in-person classroom now have to learn from a virtual one.
So how I've adjusted to school being online, a lot of the time I'm usually in Zoom lectures, and it's a little harder than being in class because you have to pay attention more because it's so much easier to just go on your phone or open another tab and go on YouTube. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it's still pretty difficult because of those previously mentioned reasons. And especially just trying to focus and get work done because, it's like you're at home and there's so many distractions. It's, you really have to just like hunker down and just power through the work.
In addition, some adults are now working from home that would usually be in an office building to do so, and many different forms of employment must adapt to this self-quarantining lifestyle.
Hi, my name is Matt Noble. I'm an attorney here in Philadelphia. Like in a lot of places, the courts around the Philadelphia area and in Philadelphia are currently closed. So as an attorney, I can do a lot of things like I can file things with the court, even though it's not open because it's electronic. But kind of the analogy of a football game, we can carry the football about 90 yards, but we just can't get it into the end zone right now. Arbitration centers are closed, so we can't arbitrate anything. Mediators aren't hearing cases, so we can't get with the mediators. We can't do depositions live. We can't go to trial right now. We can't attend court meetings. So a lot of the things that we can do, which is do a lot of the work online with a lot of the discovery and documents and things like that. But as of right now, we're not allowed to do anything as far as the courts go. Now, some people are beginning to say, okay, well, if this is going to be taking a while, we can do depositions and hearings online. And people are starting to do that depending on deadlines for the cases. If things can wait, people are starting to wait. But if things need to get done, well, then with technology today, people are starting to do that. Like people are meeting with their grandparents and things like FaceTime and Zoom. We're also do that as a lawyer. So we're overcoming and adapting, and that's the way things go. Hopefully things will start to clear up within the next 30 days. If not, the courts and the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania may extend those deadlines, and we may be out of work for a little bit longer. So right now it's just kind of wait and see and do what we can do from home.
So while everyone is stuck inside, the world still keeps turning, and many must adapt to these trying times to keep life as normal as possible. This is Liam Noble reporting for IUP-TV News.
Wow, Liam, your story is very relevant to so many people out there. This also has me wondering about those who have to still go outside to work, like our essential workers and the people who work in the grocery stores and gas stations. I know major companies like CVS, Walmart, and Amazon are actually hiring people right now because of the high demand during the pandemic. Kadar Lee has the story.
COVID-19 has reached America, causing several million employees to work from home. How are they doing it?
How has the virus been affecting your everyday life?
I feel that I am still very much in a surrealness of it all, still kind of taking it all in. And I have always been gratitude-minded. So I am grateful that I am able to continue to maintain my career as an IT professional for Temple University. It has impacted me in a way where now I have to manage my home lifestyle, helping my younger son, who is 16 with autism, and his homeschooling. in conjunction with already doing my day-to-day work commitments. So it's been a bit of a balance act.
Since the pandemic, 6.7 million people have filed for unemployment to the government. Life essential store employees are still putting their own bodies and families at risk of becoming infected every day they come to work. But no one has asked how they feel about the virus or their own lives that are at risk. Either way, major companies are still making their money any way possible.
Probably not as much as most people has. I work 2 jobs, one for Penn State, one for Walmart. I'm working at home with Penn State, so that respect I'm working from home rather than going into the office. I'm working from home now, so I'm seeing a lot more of my wife and also my mother-in-law who lives at my house. I don't get out as much except to work here at Walmart since I'm still working at Walmart, and I am not basically going out and buying as much stuff as either, since we're only supposed to go out and buy essentials. So that's pretty much. And I'm also making much more sure that my hands, that I'm cleaning and sanitizing things a lot more.
This is Kadar Lee, IUP News.
Well, that's all the news we have for this week. Tune in next week because we'll bring you stories related to environmental issues and Earth Day. My name's Liam Noble.
And I'm Anaya Pinkney. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to follow us on Instagram at IUP-TV News. See you next week.